In the flow chart above, the whole thing is explained, hopefully in more visual terms. It can be hard to visualize the whole process otherwise. Of course, this is just a picture, and it has to be drawn this way to make sense for our earthly five senses. In reality, the Ka is not some kind of realm above our head, it's inside of us and all around us. It's the 96% of reality which, according to scientists, is composed of dark matter and dark energy, although I suggest it's composed of soul energy and has its own entities, dimensions, and densities. Likewise, if we take a look at the physical body number 3 in the drawing, it says emotional body, something I haven't brought up that much, although it exists more as a composite of the physical body and the avatar. In reality, the fires are attached directly to the avatar. But let's start from the beginning to explain the flow chart. As we can see, reality consists of two major components. The Ka, the 96%, the void, or the goddess universe, which is the blackness we see when we look up in the night sky, or the space astronauts see when they leave the atmosphere, although they never really enter the Ka. They are still floating around in the 4% universe. The Ka consists of fires, or we may call them oversouls from our perspective, and different dimensions and densities. Just like in the 4% universe, Anton Parks calls this realms the Angal, from an old Sumerian, Akkadian word. The Ka is the goddess energy in her purest form, and within the Ka dwell what we would call the angelic beings, in my papers called the builders, and other being of high consciousness. The oversouls depicted in the flow chart, located within the Ka, represent our main fires, from which the fires that make up our 96% soul in the 4% universe are derived from. Each fire that makes up our avatar in the 4% has her own oversoul in the Ka. Now, let's go down the flow chart and look within the black sphere, which represents Earth. Let's pretend the physical body you see there on Earth is the body you possess as you're reading this. In the drawing, the body is made up of a grayish, bluish field of light, which pretty much follows the structure of the physical body. This is what I call the avatar, or the light body. It's made up of soul energy from the 4% universe. Then, like I said, according to the drawing, we have the emotional body, which is basically the composite of the physical body and the avatar. The blue, bold field surrounding the avatar is the composite of fires that are attached to the avatar, the 4% soul. The purple dots attached to the blue field are the individual fires, who come together as one big fire which make up the human mind-soul-body complex. In reality, they are individual fires who are glued into one great fire, although they still keep their individuality as separate fires. This is a complicated matter, because it is hard for a human being to know what is what. Sometimes we hear voices in our heads, which we have a distinct feeling is not our own, and most of the time we're probably right. They can be the voices of individual fires communicating in your head, or they can be hitchhikers and quiet dead, or even demons on rare occasions. If you are a chosen one and of the right bloodline, it could even be an alien being from the Sirian alliance, but that should not be the reader's first suspicion, however. In the previous paper, I talked about that the avatar could be destroyed and split into pieces, for example, in an advanced galactic war, and if that happens, the many fires that make up your bioman split up as well into the individual fires they originally were. These fires, if still under the influence of the Sirian Warlords, affected by amnesia, etc., will not know where to go, and will float aimlessly in space with no direction home. If the avatar is destroyed within the Earth grid, see flow chart, figure 2.5, the Sirians can collect the split fires and create a new being out of them, and even add or subtract fires from somewhere else to the whole mix. Then, all they need to do is to create some new 4% soul energy and attach this new composite of fires to it, and they have a totally new person with a new personality. This soul-mind complex can now once again be shot down into a human body on Earth. So, when Prince Ea and his consort, the Sirian princess, Nin or Sag, Ninki or Nin, decided to create Homo sapiens the way we are made up today, they collected a certain amount of 4% soul energy and put this life force into a human body. Now they had a normal star being of the 4% universe. They had a 3D physical body made up of very condensed energy, which we call matter, and to animate it, an avatar 4% soul energy was inserted into this physical body as a life force. We now have a soul body mind, where the mind basically is a mix of the emotions of both the body and the mind of the avatar. When mixed together, They in some sense blend together as one, and both the avatar and the body will soon possess emotions and an ability to think. However, the avatar, of course, is the one who is making the complex thinking, while the body becomes the intuitive part of the composite. Thus, we say, listen to your body, the body knows. Normally, a star being is born, created without any fire from the 96%. They are usually created on a 3D world in the 4% with a body and an avatar, and start their process of evolution so that they one day can reach for the stars. The individual and collective memories of the soul group of the planet they come from is stored in the planet's Akashic records, but also in other storage locations in other dimensions. Still within the 4% realm, I'm sure the collective memories of a soul group is also stored in the Ka. There is no reason why they wouldn't, as the individuals of a soul group evolve and get more insight into how things are connected. They become more psychic and start gaining access to the 96% universe, little by little, and when the portals open up inside of them, their chakras opening up, they can get access to the fire of the Ka. Although I get the impression that no fires are attaching to the star being's avatar. This is a main difference between them and we humans. However, once the portal to the Ka opens up for an evolving star being, star race, they begin to build their own oversouls in the Ka. The more the star being learns in the 4%, the more composed knowledge will build in the Ka, and thus, both the 4% and the 96% expand by individual experiences. Therefore, the universe is not infinite, neither the Ka nor the 4%, but is ever expanding due to that each individual brings new experiences to the multiverse every moment of their existence.